What's up, everybody? It's your favorite face only a mother could love's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the masterpiece Rhinox MP59. This is all known to me from Scott M, who sent this to me before he even opened it himself. What a guy. That being said, I'm anxious to take a look at this guy. It's gonna be one of the last masterpieces of the old school line, if not the last. Well, no, the Prime thing is actually kind of the last, like the merging, right? So let's not dilly-dally. Let's go ahead and get into it, but in order to get into it, we have to first get into accessories. So, first and foremost, he comes with an alternate face sculpt. We have the Primals? Is it Predacons and Primals? Is that? No, Maximals. Maximal symbol up there, and then the two shades of metallic green that looks brilliant, and then the gold around the edges. Really nicely done. Looking forward to seeing what the robot looks like. You get this adapter piece. It's just a translucent plastic, nothing really to write home about. But if you take the back of Rhinox and you remove this piece and replace it with that piece, you now have a whole, like a saddle basically for Masterpiece Optimus Primal to ride, which is nice. Thoughtful, I guess, at least. He comes with this gun here, which is pretty impressive, honestly. So this bit spins. We got silver and red on there, the metallic green. We had these piping bits, they're extra, and it has like a gunmetal. And then we have another Maximals symbol there with the 3 bits there. Nice wood grain, both in terms of sculpt and color for the handle. You know, I'm not mad at this at all. You do have this little peg here on the side, and you can utilize this into the back hip of the Rhinoceros so that he can kind of have that gun there on the side. And he can hold it just fine with a tab into the palm of the hand in typical Masterpiece fashion. Now, he comes with a second mirrored version of it as well. The detailings and such are the same. It's actually inside the Rhino as I speak, so I will show you during the transformation process where it is stored, and he holds it just the same as the other, obviously. He comes with that thing from that episode. It's this planet thing here, and we got the white paint over top of the details, and then we have the blue translucent stand, which can be removed, and then this can actually open up to reveal this bit of business here. It's like a little, it's been a long time since I've seen this, but it's like a little metallic stem of grapes, and anyway, it's painted beautifully, and I imagine sculpted well enough. I haven't seen the cartoon in years. I've seen it one time, and that was enough for me. Now, with your grapes back in the earth, you could take this tab and have him hold that by plugging it into the palm of his hand. And then he also comes with this bit here, which is a weapon, and you can open this up. We have nice red and green paint over top of silver and gold and gunmetal paint. So all of that is nice enough. In order to utilize that, you just have to make some room. So you might have to disconnect your thumb and open this up. You have a tab on the inside that connects to the forearm. Close it back up, and then you can put your thumb back in location. It works quite nicely. And there he is, and let's go ahead and get our size comparison out of the way while he's standing there looking so stoic. I got news for you, he doesn't do much other than that. There he is next to Tiger Track, so significantly sized robot, and now that that's done, let's talk about him. So he has very limited articulation. We have a tail wiggle, no waggle. We have a knee ×2 ×3 ×4, so you can do jumping. Nothing really for the head. You do get the ears. They're on ball pegs, so you can kind of animate those a bit, which is actually surprisingly nice and rewarding. And then you do get the mouth that opens and closes. Gold tips on the horns, and I should have pointed out the detailings in the mouth. We got teeth painted white over top of a pink painted mouth and gold painted mouth. Nice texturing of the skin on the piece itself. That's a sculpting thing. It's probably done digitally, but still looks good. And yeah, that's about all there is to show. It hides most of the robot. Very panely. Doesn't really hide the fact that it's going to explode and turn inside out for a robot, but you know, I'm not sure what else you could do. I guess most of it's forgivable. It's just very, very, very ugly to me. And I think the design is ugly in the first place, but I think I would find it less ugly if it was a little more seamless. You know, I'm not sure if that's possible or not. But, we'll say head Rhino, that's the way I'm talking about him. Just, So yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. Might as well just move on. So let's get him transformed. Just pull the head away from the main body and pull them cheeks back, girl. And underneath here, you just got to make room for this flap a little bit, and you have to disconnect these like shoulder mounted pieces, which are a little bit troublesome. But there's one, there's the other, and then you can remove this whole piece back. Now, let me see what I got going on up in here. So you got these two L-shaped things. They need to rotate to the center. They control the articulation for the eyes, so you could probably pose those a bit better than how they come in box as well. And then both of these pieces come down. We have two shoulder plates here, 1 and 2. See if you can't get these separated. This one is on a double hinge and will collapse nice and flush against the back. This one will come down and spin around over top to hide it. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. Double hinge up, up, swing around, and then you just bring this whole section down and plug this tab, this male, into that female. And make sure your ears are tucked out of the way. Next, we have two panels that form like the kind of bicep area of the rhino. Separate those and pull them to the center. You can get these feet out of the way. Same on this side. And then get this up and out of the way to reveal the location of that second gun that pegs in right in there. You can take this off and rotate the handle back, plug it in, good to go. All right, so then we got to get the arms out of the way. So you can go ahead and fold all this. These fold in once and then fold in twice. You know, and sit somewhat like that. And then you can get this out of the way. Rotate the shoulders. Bring these pieces towards the middle. Shoulders up. All right. And then untab that. Bring this down. That goes down. And these pieces come down along the flank. There's two tabs here at the jaw. They tab in to the collar that I'm having a little bit of a hard time seeing. And then the flank pieces come underneath. And I'll clean this up a bit afterwards. And then there is a section back. It's already tabbed in. If it doesn't tab in on yours, there's a section right here, that little tab, that needs to sit back and tab into that slot. And I'll clean this up a little bit better. I don't have it quite lined up right, but that is the overall movement of it. Open up this panel and this panel on the back end, the back hips, and separate this from the leg so that you have this bit free. And then rock these down. Get them out to the side because we do have a little bit of work to do here. So open up this section here. The bottom one goes in, the top one comes out. This one little piece here rotates down, and then you can bring the foot heel toe, and then you want to bring up this rhino foot inside, bring this all around. Oh, this here we have to rotate that in, and then rotate this back, and then fold that in. Why did that not go? Yeah, and then fold that piece on top, and then you have that. The only thing that's wrong is the orientation, so we gotta turn, and now we're good. So I'll try to do that one more again. We have to open this up. We have this piece that comes out, that piece that goes in. You can go ahead and tuck in your rhino foot now, paws, dog paws. Then this section comes down. We got to get this foot squared away. Heel toe. Heel. Toe. And then you can fold this against itself, and then you fold the whole piece in. Remember to account for this section. Boom. Oh, so much for being able to do it smoother. There. It's just a matter of getting it all lined up and then fold that piece over. It's pretty clever stuff. I wish I had one more finger, so to speak. All right, and then twist that around. All right, now you got this section. So up, down, in, and then this comes underneath, and then sit the tail back up against the back of it. You can also flip this piece out, and there's a tab here that will come down, and that will connect the upper and lower body. And then we just have the arms. So bring the shoulder down, rotate it appropriately. The hand is tabbed up against the back here. It usually comes undone. This one's undone on the other side too. Just, if it's not undone, undo it. You collapse the back of the paws, dog paws, into the front, and then this thumb needs to shift to the opposite side of the hand, and then the whole hand needs to spin 180, and then there's a peg that co-aligns there, and then you can bring this down and then orient that all properly on your own time. We'll do that one more again. Bring that down, collapse the paws, dog paws, bring this up, switch this over to this side, switch the hand around, tab it in to the back of the hoof there, bring it down, and that's it. I'll clean them up. We'll take a look at them. And let's get in tight on the head sculpt for Dennis. And I got news for you. I got bad news for you. They gave a masterpiece light piping. And as a result, a beautiful head sculpt and beautiful paint now has dead eyes. Well done. Well done, Takara, you doofs. Anyway, we had 2 shades of green, both metallic, and both look brilliant. The gold looks great as well. The head is on a, what is that, double ball peg? So you get up to there, fair bit down, left to right, confused Rhinox face, and you have a jaw joint, so to speak. So that's cool. You also had the 2 maximal symbols on there from pad printed paint. All right, moving on to the arms. We'll back out a little bit. We have a universal, so you get out to 90 degrees. The same brilliant metallic greens show through with the gold. That looks fantastic. Ooh, that notch down here at the waist joint does not stay plugged in nicely. And you get a ratchet around. You get a bicep swivel. Then you get, oh no. Do you get a bicep swivel? Yeah, okay, so there's a bicep swivel right above the elbow, and then there's the elbow joint itself that gets you 90 degrees. And then they basically put the wrist swivel down at the bottom because they needed to plug the wrist in. So that's your wrist swivel, which I think is ultimately fine. The thumb hinges outward, and then you have the fingers on a base pen knuckle. The index finger is individually articulated, and then the 2 bottom ones are connected. And then you had the gunmetal silver as the joints against this metallic green. All of that stuff looks good. Let's back out. And other arm is identical. Lots of sculpted detail in the mouth of the Rhino here. Looks fantastic. All the teeth are painted white and the gums are painted silver. All of that looks good. There is a waist joint. It's limited, but it's there and probably will get you most of what you need. It has a tendency to knock the jaw out of place again. So that's not great, but what are you going to do? You got the hip skirts. And we'll back out, try to look at the whole figure as much as possible. We get the hip skirts. This piece hinges and the outward movement is there. So they're ratcheted universals. You get the legs forward and back to there. So great forward motion, which is what you really need. And then out to the side to about there. Thigh swivel built around the universal joint, which looks good. Gold details on the crotch as well as the metallic greens coming through once again and look great. And then we have a single hinge knee that gets you 90 degrees. It's misleading. It looks like it's more, but it's not. Then you have the white teeth around the bit there. That looks good. And then for the ankles, you get ankle tilt up, a slight ankle tilt down, and an ankle rocker, and then you get a toe tilt as well, but it's just a toe tilt down, so it doesn't really do you much good. I'll show you him from the back. Not the prettiest. Not the prettiest. And then I'll also show you that he has a little bit of balancing issues, and that's because he's back heavy, right? He's got all of this mass on his back, and the ankle joints are kind of like, I don't know, they're not the most secure things in the world. A lot of his joints are super tight, ratchety, and so forth, and the only joints that aren't are the ankles, and he does pay a price for them. But not a terrible figure, but not the best Beast Wars masterpiece they've ever done either. Size comparison wise, I don't have anything that necessarily makes a whole lot of sense. However, I've always kind of viewed him as like the Ironhide of the team. So there he is next to the Takara Ironhide for what it is worth. Slightly smaller, which is interesting. Like just slightly, but definitely wider, more of a broader character, but slightly shorter. Final thoughts wise, we'll start with the negatives. My biggest negative is that there is a bit of a balance issue between the tolerance and stability of the ankles versus the amount of backpack that he has to carry around. It is his burden to bear. Or to Rhino. Stop it. There is some limited articulation, limited hip rotation or waist rotation, limited ankle tilts, 90-degree elbows, 90-degree knees. He is a bulkier character, so some of that is forgivable, but it is a lot. The jaw of the Rhino, the faux Rhino jaw, has a tendency to come disconnected from the waist. That's a bit of a pain. The dead eyes on the robot mode is kind of one of the most unforgivable because it was an easily fixable thing. They painted this thing so beautifully and they just dropped the ball there. And the Rhino mode is a bit of a wash. It's a bit statuesque, I guess you would say. So, I mean, you know, fair amount of criticisms. Positives wise, there's also plenty to discuss. The green paint is absolutely stunning. It looks amazing on him. Does a lot for the presentation of the figure. The sculpt work in the bottom mouthpiece that forms the torso of the robot is very meticulous and intricate and looks great. The transformation process is smooth, intuitive, enjoyable, rewarding, and at times surprisingly clever. The calf being a great example of that. Comes with a ton of accessories, all that integrate well. The materials feel good, and it has lots of clicky ratchets that feel fantastic. So it's a recommend from me. It's just not the strongest Beast Wars offering I've seen from the Masterpiece line. I don't think it's the worst though either. So that's got to account for something. Hope that helps. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.